a little bit about at the beginning self-sovereignty. So I kind of want to jump into that because, these past 2, 3 years have been very crazy, especially for, somebody in Canada, right? So I mean, you were kind of in the forefront in the Canadian truckers convoy, and that was a big issue within itself, but it kind of left you in a sticky situation. So from, I guess, somebody who is deep into that situation, what did the importance of explaining to somebody of self-sovereignty, like taking control of your money, taking
Mhm.
control of all those kind of things, did you kind of notice maybe a mindset shift with people at that time where it was like, hey, my money is quote unquote safe within a bank account, and Bitcoin, like I could lose a seed phrase or something like that. Whereas like, maybe this instance kind of woke some people up and realized like, hey, like even if it's my money's in my bank account, it's not really mine.
Yeah. It absolutely did. I think there's still a ways to come. It's not like it was an instant orange pill for everybody in and around that situation, but it definitely planted seeds, and those people are going to go forward and realize how important this is. I mean, the big takeaway here was a lot of people realize, like you said, the money in your bank account is not really yours. And we saw that with, people donated to GoFundMe, and GoFundMe itself froze the funds. Then people went to Give, Send, Go, who said, we're not going to censor the funds. We're a better place to go. They donated there, and they didn't. But then the second they sent it to a Canadian bank account, TD froze it. And so there was no fiat ramp digitally to get money to people that you wanted to donate to. It was all censored. The only other options were going physically there and handing cash to people on the street, or handing food and petrol and whatever, diesel and stuff like that, giving it that way. But if you were from afar, there was no option until people started realizing that Bitcoin might solve this, or Bitcoiners realized Bitcoin fixes this. And so in the course of 2 weeks, what we thought was going to be a few $1,000, in light of all the other censorship, we ended up raising like, I think it was between $1 and $1.3 million in a couple of weeks. And that was not in custodial wallets, right? It was not with exchanges or, the equivalent of a Bitcoin bank. It was self-sovereign held wallets, where, individuals actually controlled the private keys to that money. And we also utilized multi-sig. And so, that was helpful. However, there obviously, given that the initial expectation was, oh, it's going to be small, there were major missteps in the early stages. Like, there's multiple things that could have been done on the privacy front. Even just like how the keys were handled could have been better, because, nobody realized how adversarial it was going to be, and how quickly it was going to devolve into, a vanilla flavor of martial law, because that's effectively what we got, where they were shutting down bank accounts of people that were donating or that were there. And so people got a real taste of, holy crap, a G7 nation started freezing individuals' bank accounts for supporting a protest that was nonviolent. It was unprecedented, and sad to see. I think, again, a lot of people woke up, but also, funny enough, people on the opposite side of the aisle, they looked at it and they said, good, shut down their bank accounts. I disagree with them. And they had, not everybody, but a lot of people had this inability to zoom out and say, this precedent is now set, and it applies to everybody equally. So that means if an opposing government is in power and I'm at a different type of protest, they could use the same rules to shut down my bank account. A lot of people had that presence of mind to make that connection. I feel they will eventually. It's just a matter of time.